Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So just when you thought I couldn't get any crazier, I went and bought a brand new 2022 Lime Rush 4Runner TRD Pro here. So before you totally beat me up, let me explain my reasoning behind doing this. So I love the idea that this 4Runner here is going to be the last of this generation, the last of the 5th generation 4Runner, and it is of course in the exclusive TRD Pro color for 2022 for the 4Runner. The fact that they only have this color on the 4Runner is another cool point, another few cool points I think, because you know it's not going to be so commonly seen on the roads, right? You're not going to see it on the Sequoia, you're not going to see it on the Tundra, or the Tacoma, right? Even the Tacoma has the electric lime metallic, so a very different green, a darker green. So this is unique. I like the electric lime metallic better than this, for the record, but I do love the exclusivity of this color, and I like that it's the last of this tried and true and trusted platform here in this 5th generation 4Runner. Similar to why I love my Tundra, it is the last of that generation Tundra, right, the 2021, and it's also in the exclusive TRD Pro color for that year. So that's the only time ever that you're going to have a Lunar Rock color on that generation Tundra, and that's going to be on the TRD Pro model, if that makes sense, right? So I like the exclusivity of that. We all know that Lunar Rock is being used in 2022 here, right? That's being used on the different trim levels. So it's no longer specific to the TRD Pro for 22. So it's going to be on the TRD Off-Road, right? It's no longer as special. And they did the same thing to Army Green, and we saw it coming. They're doing Army Green on the limited, blah, blah, blah. They're kind of diluting the water a little bit when it comes to the special factor. So I don't like that aspect of it, right? So you're going to have a bunch of TRD off-roaders rolling around 22s that look similar. They're going to do the swap out, the grill swap out to make it look identical, badge it, blah, blah, blah. And I don't necessarily like that idea. So a while back, I secured a Lime Rush 4Runner TRD Pro at MSRP up in Pennsylvania. This is not that Lime Rush 4Runner TRD Pro that I secured back then. Granted, I didn't plan to buy the Raptor per se. That was kind of a little bit of an impulse purchase. So because of that, I'm going to be selling both the Lunar Rock here as well as my FJ Cruiser. I know some of you guys are going to totally beat me up for that, but you know, I bought that FJ at a really good time, you know, and we all know the market's crazy for that right now. This, I'll likely sell the Vroom. I'm going to take the parts off of it. I'm going to take the wheels, or excuse me, the tires, the KO2s. Sorry guys, the wind's pretty bad. Take the KO2s off of it. These are 285/70 17s. We're going to pop them onto this. I already ordered another Westcott Designs lift with their sale that they have going on right now. So I bought that. We'll be putting them on the Lime Rush, just swapping these over. I'll be putting the RSG rock sliders over here on the Lime Rush. The only thing that's going to stay on it is the Westcott lift and the window tint, of course, right? And everything else is going to remain. Try to tuck out of the wind here a little bit. Everything else is going to remain on it. So really only the window tint, then everything else is going to go back or go over to the Lime Rush here. So why did I tell you about the Lime Rush in Pennsylvania? So that one still is available, and I have a very short window to try to pass it over to somebody else. Otherwise they're going to open up the floodgate of the 5-10 people that they have in line for one and just give it to them. But I'd rather give it to someone who consistently watches my channel, of course. And you know, if you're an OG or a regular on the channel, I ask that you shoot me a message on Instagram. Don't put a comment down below in here. But if you want to shoot me a note on Instagram, we'll get you squared up with the sales rep there and get you with that one. So it should arrive in mid-December. This one here was just an opportunity thing, right? So this one just popped up there in New Jersey at Shore Toyota, and awesome experience working with those guys. If you are in New Jersey, I definitely recommend them. It was a phenomenal experience, I mean it. But I did end up paying a markup on this one. I know some of you are like, what? Yeah, I paid $1,000 over a sticker for it. And it's the first time I've ever paid a markup, but it made more sense. I justified it for convenience sake, if I'm being honest with you. And $1,000, I hate paying it, but even then it was still cheaper than the other one in Pennsylvania. So the one in Pennsylvania has a sticker of 56.3. So that is the MSRP on the one that, if anyone is interested in it, 56.3 is what they're selling it for. They have a high documentation fee up there though. I think it was $899 or something like that. It was a really steep document fee, whereas here they had a $300 document fee. They put on the paint protection, blah blah, some like additional free stuff, and like financially it made more sense to go with them. If you could believe it or not, even with a $1,000 markup, it was still cheaper after all the numbers played out with them, which is, I know, fascinating, but that's how it worked out. And not to mention it was available now, and it was much closer to where I live. So convenience sake, it made it worthwhile, so I didn't have to book a flight up to Pennsylvania to get it or anything. So all that to say, if you guys are interested in a Lime Rush 22 4Runner TRD Pro at MSRP, again $56,300, shoot me a note on Instagram, and I'll try to get you squared up. I'll treat it as a first come first serve, okay? We'll go from there. So why else did I get this? So it is, of course, the last of the 4Runner with this generation, the 5th gen. The exclusive color, already talked about that. The fact that it has blind spot monitors was a huge bit for my wife. My wife, this is her daily driver, and she really loves having the BSM on it. So that was a huge piece of it. Not to mention you got the 360 degree cameras, right? You got these new bits. So it is the best form that this 5th generation Toyota 4Runner will ever be. So I like that idea of it. And if we're being totally honest, the fact that it is the most special when it comes to color, I guess most exclusive when it comes to color, that is my selling point personally. And I think a lot of you guys will love to hear, I am getting out of my comfort zone a little bit with this quote-unquote build. You guys know I don't do them up too hardcore, but I am doing something that I have never considered before, and I'm putting on Morimoto XV headlights. So they are, if you guys aren't familiar, check them out. The Morimotos are amazing looking. So I got the ones with amber DRLs. So I'll be popping them on, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, do a Google image on it. They look phenomenal. So I've never had a gripe with these. I think this looks good. Forgive me guys, the wind is pretty bad. I think this looks good. So that's why I never pulled the trigger on spending $1,400 for a new set. But the Morimotos, they're completely blacked out. You got 3 LED lights within there too. You got the amber surround DRL that looks amazing. So very excited to get that and share that with you guys. And of course, you guys know that I got the the Westcott Designs roof rack, as well as that Westcott Designs rear ladder hatch, or rear ladder for the rear hatch. So that will be up here. I'm excited to get that on it. And of course, the back ladder is going to look phenomenal. Hopefully too, when I black out, when I tint the windows, I'll do 20% all around, similar to what we did over here. I'll probably do 50% on the windshield this time around. I did 70 over here, ceramic tint. I mainly did it for heat reduction purposes, not so much for the tint. But you can't even tell, I don't know if you can or not really. Let's look at them. I don't know if you guys can tell. I guess it's unfair because the back windows are tinted, right? But so we'll do 50% on the windshield this time. Again, ceramic tint. I'm a believer in ceramic after putting on both this and the Tundra, because it really does keep it nice and cool in the rig, so in the cabin there. So eager to see what that looks like in this form. Very excited for it. I know you guys are going to think I'm a total nut, and you're not wrong, that's for sure. But hopefully, if you've been sticking around the channel this long, nothing should faze you at this point. So we'll likely be selling this to Vroom. You know, KBB value on it. I just don't know if I'd feel good selling this to a private party, given the value of them. So I'll likely sell it to Vroom or Carvana, just for that reason. The KBB value on it is $65,000 with a high of 66 something, and that's in stock form, right? And that's what we're going to be getting it back to. So it'll be probably around there, hopefully. And as you guys remember, so by the way, this sticker on up here, this is my evidence of me getting close to trading it in. So I had the numbers all laid out for the Raptor. You know, it made sense because I was going to buy the Raptor outright with the 15 grand gap between this and the Raptor's sale price. They're going to give $63,500, and I felt okay about that. But just, I don't know, last second I decided just to peel off and said, you know, let's just let's just finance it. So that's what we did there. But with the Raptor involved, we got the FJ still, the Tundra, and now both of these, that's a little steep. So I'll be selling this one and the FJ Cruisers in the garage, which my wife isn't too thrilled about that piece of it. She loves the FJ, even though we don't drive it, but she loves the look of them. And I don't know, she likes the idea of keeping that one for a long time. And I do too, but you guys know me, keeping a vehicle a long time isn't necessarily a common thing for me. So at any rate, team, I just wanted to share that with you. Please shoot me a note, and you know, if I wanted to go to someone who lives out in this area to make it convenient for them. If you live in Pennsylvania, you know, Jersey, Maryland, you know, in this area, it would make it easiest. If they're going to ask for a $1,500 deposit, I'm still have my deposit with them right now. I'm waiting to get a name and a contact number so I can get him in contact with you guys or whoever ends up wanting it before I revoke my $1,500 on it. So let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you think Lime Rush is garbage. It is yeah, I don't know. It's a tough sell, if we're being honest, right? This is green has never been like my favorite color by a long shot. Blue typically is, so you know, Voodoo Blue kind of makes sense for that to evolve into my favorite color, even if I didn't like it at first. Whereas this one, I don't know if we're gonna get there with the Grinch green here, but it is still a remarkable vehicle, and I love the fact that it has the additional goodies on it. And again, the last of this dying breed, perhaps, with that 4-liter 5-speed automatic transmission, that bulletproof combination. So I love this. I'm a huge fan of the 4Runner. You guys know this is my favorite of all the TRD Pros and always has been. You can look at my old videos. I've always said that because it just really is a phenomenal vehicle. Made in Japan too, right? So we don't know if that's going to continue to be the case. It likely will be, but you never know. As you know, they like outsourcing and making things a little bit cheaper, but this is bulletproof. So I blabbed on plenty. Appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Till next time.